flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Suzanne, would you please do the roll call?
Trustee Villalobos?
Here.
Trustee Vidal?
Here.
Trustee Shiokari?
Here.
Trustee Levin?
Here.
Trustee Gould?
Here.
Thank you.
Okay. The district digitally records the audio portion of the meetings. The recorder is located in front of the board scribe. All recordings are kept in the superintendent's office for 30 days and are available during that time period for inspection by members of the public on district equipment without charge. As a community service, Pacifica Community Television records and broadcasts the meetings. Okay. The board met in closed session regarding public employee appointment, executive director, special education, human resources, and pupil services, public employee complaint, public employee performance evaluation, superintendent. No action was taken. Okay, for approval of the minutes for April 25th from the regular board meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll move to approve the minutes.
Okay, all in favor? Oh, a second, sorry. Second. Okay, all in favor?
Board passes 5-0. Thank you.
Okay, approval of the agenda and consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda will be approved with one motion, which is not debatable and which requires a unanimous vote for passage. If any member of the board, the superintendent, or the public so requests, any item shall be removed from this section and placed in the regular order of business following approval of the consent agenda. A request has been made to pull the agenda for May 16th for a slight modification.
So if I can pull the agenda and then we'll, after we do the consent agenda, I'll bring it forward again.
Okay.
So we'll take action on it.
Okay, so do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda without the one item? Okay, do we have a second?
A second.
Okay, all in favor?
Board passes 5-0. Thank you.
Okay, so I think this is where I will do the change modification to the agenda. What I would like to do is to move 11C above the 11B, which is the recess, so that we can do the superintendent contract with the position.
Also, communication?
So we need to take action on
We need
the
to take,
change.
okay. So do we have a motion to approve the change in the agenda?
Motion.
Do we have a second? Okay, all in favor?
Board passes 5-0. Thank you.
Okay, communications? Okay, this portion of the agenda is available for the public to address the board on any issue that is not on the agenda. Maximum time allowed for each speaker is 3 minutes. LSEA? LSEA?
That's her.
Yeah, that's okay.
Oh, do we have to get?
Oh.
Hi.
LSEA?
Joint effort tonight. We just wanted to make sure everybody knew about our joint end of the year party at the tap room. It's June 5th, starting at 4, ending at 6. And we'd love to see you there. We have some invitations here, so you just can fill one of those out and send it to, is it Charlotte?
Charlotte.
Charlotte at Cabrillo.
And we're having the party on a Tuesday at the tap room because the tap room is usually closed on Tuesdays. But they are very generous to our community, to LSEA and CSEA, and they open up on a day that they're usually closed. So it's really great, and if you ever head to the tap room, you can say thank you to them for us as well. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, people wishing to address the board? Patrick Sayers, Pacifica School Volunteer.
Hi, I'm Patrick Sayers. I'm with the Pacifica School Volunteers, and I'm really glad to address such a robust crowd here. And when I drove up, I heard you all the way out on Rena Del Mar. So I feel the energy here, and I'm glad I'm getting you at this moment because Pacifica School Volunteers is celebrating 20 years. And that's 20 years of helping the Pacifica School District in their elementary schools and their middle schools, and having volunteers, qualified volunteers, come into the classroom and help those students that just kind of need that extra one-on-one attention, one-on-one help. Just little things like maybe in reading and in math. And what we're really celebrating is the work of the volunteers, but we're also celebrating the support that we've gotten from the Pacifica School District, also from Wendy Tuckloff. And so we're celebrating not only the work of our volunteers, the work of our teachers, our principals, and our schools, but we also wanted to just recognize the support of the school district. And so I want to make sure that you all know when the party is because now that you're here, you're all invited, and we would love to see you. And it's going to be on Wednesday, May 23rd. That's a week from today. It's going to be at Sunset Ridge School in their multi-purpose room, and it's going to be from 2 to 4 o'clock. And you know, a lot of our work happens inside the classroom, so if you come and see and attend the event, you'll see teachers thanking volunteers for the work that they've done in the classroom. And that really gives you a sense of not only what PSV does, but the importance of volunteers in school. And you'll also find out about the two people that started PSV 20 years ago. And we're going to be giving them a special award, a Founders Leadership Award, for them actually starting PSV as a nonprofit organization and then building up the relationship with the district. And that's really been important, that really the foundation that they set made it possible for us to succeed for 20 years. And of course, there is a little sad note, is that we would like to thank, but also say goodbye to Wendy Tuckloff, who has been very supportive of PSV, always there helping us. She's always there on our foundation tours, touring the school, writing support letters, and always putting in a good word for us. So we'd like to do all of that in just a couple hours, and of course, we will have food and drink. And yes, and thank you, Debbie. Now that I am finding out that we are having some student entertainment. So I want you all to come, and I've only have 2 invitations, but you can read it wherever they are, so I don't know, you can pass those around. So thank you very much.
Okay, James Arnotto.
Hello, everyone. My name is James Arnotto, and I've never really spoke to the board, so thank you, board. Thank you, everybody, audience, you know. So I don't know all the rules about how to address the board, so I'm just going to talk to like a regular person, all right? I have a 6th grader and an 8th grader at Cabrillo School. They've been there their whole from kindergarten on. And I'm speaking on behalf of several parents from Cabrillo School, Valleymar School, and from Ocean Shore. Basically, we heard that IBL is going to have a Spanish elective next year, and that Spanish elective is going to be good for high school credit. And we've heard that from various staff, PSD staff, and various parents, some parents that we know that have kids that go to IBL. We've also heard that this is not going to be offered at Cabrillo, Valleymar, or Ocean Shore. So first of all, I just want to let you guys know, I think it's great. I think it's awesome that IBL is going to have that opportunity, and what a fantastic thing, and to be able to take an elective and actually get high school credit, that's awesome. So by no means am I here to tell you that it's not fair that they have it and we don't. Take it away from them. That's not what I'm doing. However, you know, we do think that it doesn't really seem equitable that IBL is going to get this opportunity and that Cabrillo, Valleymar, and Ocean Shore are not going to get the opportunity. So we don't know what the plan or the vision is. There might be a plan, there might be a vision, maybe this is a pilot program. So basically, I guess what we're asking for is some transparency regarding this program. Let us know what the vision, what the plan is, if there is one. I would imagine there is. The other thing that we'd like in that part of transparency is, you know, where did the funding come from? We heard that there's going to be a paid teacher for that position. So where did that funding come from? Did IBL have to get rid of something else in order to have the funding for that? Or is this in addition to kind of a budget? I don't know how the budget works, I apologize. And then the other thing is that once we make this information transparent, that it's somewhat accessible. So, I'm not a computer guy, but I did a little poking around the internet and on the PSD website, and I couldn't find anything that said that this program was coming. I couldn't find anything that talked about that vision or that plan. So hopefully, that's something that we can get out to the people. And then, ultimately, we're not asking for the schools to lose their identity. We understand that all the different schools have different opportunities or different programs. But this is a little different. This is an opportunity. When you talk about high school credit, that's a big deal. I have a 6th grader and an 8th grader. My 8th grader is going to high school next year. Hey, that's okay. My 6th grader may never get to benefit if this is a pilot program, that this is something that the vision is to bring it to everyone. But ultimately, what we want is equitable opportunities for all of the middle school students in Pacifica. Thank you.
Correspondent?
I did receive the 2017-18 second interim financial report, which puts Pacifica School District in positive certification. Again, I think we do a great job, and we thank your guidance in relationship to monitoring our fiscal prudence. The thing that was highlighted, however, for our district was the fact that we are a state-funded district, and therefore our cash management is extremely important for us to be able to make payroll, and that's why there are times when you have to approve us having a trans so that we can make payment because we do not get the state funding in a timely manner. So I think it's something that we always monitor and watch to make sure. And again, as we look at our multi-year projections, hopefully we did receive some information regarding the May revise, so we'll take a look at that again. But we're now functioning in our reserves about 5%, which goes down to 4%. So we need to be very careful and monitor that as we move forward. But again, we are positive, and there are some districts that are going qualified. So I think that we need to be extremely proud of our district for providing the programs that we do and providing the strong education that we do have. Thank you.
Okay. Board Superintendent Communications?
I'll start. Attended the Superintendent Contract Special Meeting. I also attended an Independent Study Committee meeting with Dr. Abla, where we reviewed our board policies and discussed various issues and problem solve some possible solutions, and we'll see where that goes. Attended the Library Advisory Committee, which is again sort of more of the same, of just looking at possibly getting a new library in Pacifica, with keeping Sanchez in some factor, not sure, to be determined.
So then you missed two of the things that I went to, so that's
Well,
kind of
I was
unusual.
trying not to say everything, so while we get to the end,
So there's
something
something
to say.
okay, that's what I'm finding.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
So Alma Flynn, we went to Alma Flynn, that was so fun. Sorry you missed that. So we appreciate our volunteers so much at our schools. It's what makes our schools strong, and it makes our schools great. And so there was a good bunch of volunteers to honor. And also went to the joint articulation meeting with the mayor and, I don't know, what do you call I guess he's a councilman, and a councilman. No, it wasn't the mayor, it was the city manager. And one of the councilmen and Jefferson Union and Water District folks. And So, nothing's going on with the water district except they're, of course, gonna raise our rates again, but, it's always going on with the water district. But, and they're looking at testing, we did the big lead testing, and so now they're talking about testing for some other things. So that's good movement for them. And I don't know, lots of stuff going on with the city and the new big business in the city, which are the dispensaries. So kind of interesting that we need to do some work with them and with the schools about those. And we, when we talked with Jefferson Union, they're out having these board meetings at the schools and talking to the teachers and certificate, non-certificate folks and getting input. And I thought, well, we can't do that all the time, but we should. If they're going to set this model, we may want to talk about this, and I think that our staff would and enjoy the conversations. They're agendized board meetings, but they seem to run it a little bit more town hall. And you went to the one at Terra Nova, right?
Yes.
And, oh, sorry, you can do that part. And then Thornton's was tonight. I didn't know that this was. So anyway, it's some food for thought.
So, you make me feel like a slacker.
I just stretch.
Thanks, Andrew. You too, Ken. So I went to the Elena Flynn dinner with several of my colleagues here, and that was fun. For those of you who don't know Elena Flynn, it's where we celebrate the volunteers at each school. The other thing that I did was I attended the California Advisory Practitioner Group, the CPAG, which is in Sacramento. It's an appointment that I have up there, and so we talked. Basically, we talk about LCFF and the accountability dashboard most of the time, and also Title I. There wasn't too much on Title I, but we did talk about the accountability dashboard and talking about the treatment of DAS schools, which are sort of the alternative schools in California, and how we can hold them accountable, but they're very specialized. So I think that's all I can remember.
It seems like it's been a long time since our last meeting. I did some school community things. I went to the Ortega Hoedown, which is a community event. They had country music, dancing, and barbecue. And I sat with some of the parents that I used to know on the PTO. And I did get, some information about a tick problem over there. So I don't like ticks, but I'm just wondering if there's anything that can be done for the next month of school while they're still there. I went to the closed meeting of the superintendent, and then I also went to the slam poetry at Ortega, which was outstanding. The topics that the children were talking about, bullying, sexual harassment. I mean, it was pretty intense, and they really get into it. And I was just really impressed with them. And then I went to the bingo at Bellemare, and it was standing room only. I'm a total bingo fan. I didn't get to play. My high school daughter brought 3 of her friends, so I just paid for them to play. And so it looked like it was very successul. I also got an earful about the Spanish not being at Bellemare, so I'm hoping, maybe we can have a discussion. I also attended the Jefferson Union High School board meeting, which was on site at Terra Nova. And I just happened on it, and I thought, oh, it's at 4 o'clock, and oh, I'm going to be there, so I'm going to go drop in. And it wasn't what I expected, but I was glad I was there. I really liked the model that they had going on site and listening to the staff and the teachers. There weren't any parents there, but maybe that is something we can discuss, not all the time because that's, 6 schools. But maybe, next year having some on-site board meetings for one of the months or something so we can hear input. And I just think it possibly makes the staff feel more comfortable being on their place, where they work. I also joined in on the finalist interviews for the Executive Director of Special Ed, Human Resources, and Pupil Services. I went to the joint articulation meeting, and we were updated on the placement of all the dispensaries around the city and possibly educating our kids more on marijuana use. And I'm hoping that we have Mary Bier in place for talking to our kids next year. So we're not just being reactive but proactive. And then Alma Flynn, of course, that was the cherry on the top. We couldn't do it without our volunteers, and they do so much. I mean, there's some volunteers who are there probably like a part-time job. So thank you for that.
Okay. I went to the Pacifica Coalition meeting, which is always really interesting every month, and that's all the nonprofits in town get together to share notes on what's going on and see how we can help each other. Had the IBL Ocean Shore Spring Band Concert, which went off very well. They sounded great. And then a little advertisement, the Cabrillo Valimar one is tomorrow night. So if you want to hear the kids, they'll be playing tomorrow night. Also attended the Elna Flynn Awards and had several meetings for interviews, interview panels and everything. So that was probably more than I can count right now. Okay.
So if just one more thing to add, we did attend, Elizabeth and I attended the Jerry Hill Roundtable discussion, and it's very nice to have the opportunity to sit and have a chat with him among all of the other districts. And I think it was very loud and clear that we need more funding on our base for all of our schools. And so I think Jerry will take that back for us, and we are very hopeful. There is some legislation out there now that is looking at increasing our base funding because it's just not enough. And so as we've heard today in our open communication. So it was a positive meeting.
Okay. Number 10, presentations. 10A, resolution number 2018-05-16-A through 2018-05-16-E, resolutions of appreciation for retiring teachers and classified staff. Ray?
Okay, so this is by far my favorite board meeting of the year. I'm sure I speak for many. This is where we get to honor our colleagues who will be retiring from Pacifica School District. This year we are honoring Darlene Easterby. Angie Gibbs. Lisa Kern. Julie Jones. And Dr. Wendy Tuckloff. And tonight, a resolution will be read for those honorees in attendance by their current supervisor. So we'll start with Darlene's, who will be read by Ellie Thunder.
I told Darlene that she could back out anytime if she doesn't want to go. She still has time, right? No. I think she's really going. She's cleaning up her room, and it's making us all very sad. So So resolved, Darlene Easterby, resolved by the Board of Trustees of the Pacifica School District, County of San Mateo, State of California, that whereas Darlene has been a highly successful classroom teacher in the Pacifica School District since 1988, and whereas Darlene has participated on countless committees, including site literacy and district literacy committees and numerous social committees, and whereas Darlene has enriched the lives of countless number of students and their families at Westview School and Sunset Ridge, I'm going to get crying. Whereas Darlene has been an exemplar collaborator and team player with all of her colleagues, and whereas Darlene has provided excellent support to her administrator, teachers, staff, students, and always demonstrating pride in her work and school, she is truly loved and respected by all. And whereas Darlene has a magical way of getting kids to love learning, that's the best part right there. Like, she has them eating out of her hand. And whereas Darlene has fulfilled all of her duties as a classroom teacher in a professional and highly exemplar manner, and whereas Darlene has been a fantastic educator to multiple generations of students in the same family, currently educating three sons of students she educated in the past, and has developed the tradition of excellence in student learning, and whereas Darlene has been a staunch advocate for children and public school teachers, and whereas Darlene arrives to work each day and every day at exactly 7:20 in the morning, and whereas Darlene has attended each coffee talk that we have had on Friday mornings at Sunset Ridge at 7:30 for the past 3 years and provided her insights. And whereas Darlene has never shied away from new curricula and teaching methods, in fact, she's always embraced them. And whereas Darlene has always had a particular knack for getting her students excited about the craft and art of writing, and whereas Darlene has always supported new teachers and offered guidance, a listening ear, and most importantly, chocolate to her colleagues in need of some positivity. And whereas, if you want to change your mind and come back to teach next year, just say so, and we'll have a spot for you. Now, therefore, you wanna? She's not?
Give me a little break.
Okay.
We're not done with
All right, you get summer. We'll give you summer. It's a short one, though. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees for the Pacifica School District extends its best wishes to Darlene Easterby upon the occasion of her retirement following 30 years of faithful and dedicated service to the public's education, and extends its sincere best wishes for a rewarding and fulfilling future. Congratulations. As a special treat, the district is giving you your 30-year pen.
Okay, yeah. Can I just say a couple?
You wanna say-
I was just
Come
going
on
to say
up,
a
please.
couple words. Just a couple, like thank you, a big thank you, and appreciation to everyone in the district for all the support they've given me. Oh, now I'm going to cry. But just for the professional development and the support along the way. The administration, the teachers, the principal, and the children, of course. And parents, because one of the things I've always enjoyed, truly, is parent-teacher conferences. You find out so much.
This is why we don't want her to go. And just to tell you, this year, she's got 3 children, 3 boys in her class. 2?
Yeah, it's 2.
Two
Yeah,
and one
yeah,
last
yeah,
year.
yeah,
So
yeah.
she's had 3 kids just
Right.
recently whose fathers were in her class. And so they just took a picture together.
And that was cute, that was cute. They went on a field trip with us, I will tell you this, they went on a field trip with us, they stayed with the boys for lunch, coming back in line, I turned to just check on the children in line, and they were blocking my view, and I said, wait, my big boys need to move to this line. Little boys, please, can line up, yeah. Great, yeah. Okay, thank you.
No, I don't. I don't give them.
Oh, you
I'm
don't
gonna
give
step
them?
down.
Okay.
Let's give her another round of applause. All right, I'm supposed to give them to you, but I don't have to read them. Oh, okay. But we should just know who they're from. Don't you guys want to know who they're from?
Yeah.
Let's see. So this is from Jerry Brown. This one, it's very official on the front. United States Congress. From Jackie Spear. She loves her. And this is from Jerry Hill.
Wow, nice that I like him too.
You like him too? And this one's from, oh no. Kevin Mullen.
Oh, yes.
Okay, next we have, we're honoring Lisa Kern, and reading her resolution this evening will be Josie Peterson.
You know I'm not going to cry. She's
I'm already gone.
Lisa actually retired in February, and we still see each other, and she's still here, and she's still helping us with our food program, so she's never really gone. So Lisa Kern, resolved by the Board of Trustees of the Pacifica School District, County of San Mateo, State of California, that whereas Lisa Kern has been a highly successful cafeteria assistant, regional kitchen manager, and child nutrition supervisor in the Pacifica School District since 1986. And whereas Lisa Kern has provided extraordinary food service to countless number of students and their families in the Pacifica School District, and whereas Lisa Kern has utilized her organizational skills and wealth of knowledge to help keep our school cafeterias running smoothly, and whereas, since taking on the role of supervisor, Ms. Kern's work week included 7 a.m. start times, with Friday mornings at 6 a.m. arrival to receive the food deliveries, providing cafeteria coverage when all positions went unfilled, and troubleshooting issues such as electrical outages and lost deliveries, all with a smile and the goal to serve the students and staff. And whereas Ms. Kern has fulfilled all her duties and responsibilities as cafeteria assistant, kitchen manager, and child nutrition supervisor in a professional and highly exemplary manner, and whereas Ms. Kern has provided excellent support to the administrators, teachers, staff, and students, demonstrating incredible pride in her work, Ms. Kern was truly loved and respected by all. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Pacifica School District extends its best wishes to Lisa Kern upon the occasion of her retirement following 31 years of faithful and dedicated service to public education, and extends its sincere best wishes for a rewarding and fulfilling future.
I just want to say thank you to everyone. 31 years really went by fast. It's amazing how quick that went by, mainly because I think it's a job that I loved. It was, when coming to work was always a good thing. I mean, I looked forward to coming and seeing the kids, and the kids were what made our day. But working in the department that I worked in, we were a family. So food service was pretty special. All the ladies in the department were more like family than coworkers. We all had a really good time at our jobs. And I am loving retirement. I highly recommend it when you get there. That is absolutely awesome. And having all this time to spend with my grandchildren is just amazing. So thank you all.
Next is Julie Jones, and I get the honor of reading Julie's resolution tonight. But I also want to acknowledge that she's also worked alongside Tom Stafford at Cabrillo, and she's currently working alongside Dan Little at IBL. But I got to work with Julie when I first came in the district over at Lindemar. Here we go. For Julie Jones, resolved by the Board of Trustees of the Pacifica School District, County of San Mateo, State of California, that
Whereas Julie Jones has been a highly successful health assistant and paraprofessional in the Pacifica School District since 2008. And whereas Ms. Jones has supported a countless number of students and their families in the Pacifica School District at Lindemar, Cabrillo, and Ingrid B. Lacey schools. And whereas Ms. Jones has utilized her skills and knowledge to guide and facilitate the learning for the students she served. And whereas Ms. Jones has fulfilled all her duties and responsibilities as a health assistant and paraprofessional in a professional manner. And whereas Ms. Jones has provided excellent support to her administrators, teachers, staff, and students, demonstrating incredible pride in her work and school. Ms. Jones was truly appreciated and respected by all. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Pacifica School District extends its best wishes to Julie Jones upon the occasion of her retirement following 10 years of faithful and dedicated service to public education, and extends its sincere best wishes for a rewarding and fulfilling future. Congratulations. Any words? No words?
I really enjoyed, thank you for giving me the opportunity to work with kids of all different abilities. I really appreciated the experience, and I enjoyed working in Pacifica. Thank you.
Thank you.
Last but not least, Dr. Wendy Tuckloff, and her resolution this evening will be read by our board president, Elizabeth Bruton.
Okay. The Board of Trustees, Pacifica School District, County of San Mateo, and State of California, for Wendy Tuckloff, resolved by the Board and Trustees, whereas Wendy Tuckloff has been highly successful superintendent in the Pacifica School District since 2010, and whereas Ms. Tuckloff has created a positive school culture that supports all learners and prepares students to thrive in a changing world. She has also consistently ensured the district in receiving positive budget certifications along with multi-year budget projections with reserves. Whereas Ms. Tuckloff has worked closely with the board, district, school leaders, parents, and other stakeholders to develop a strategic plan focused on preparing students for an evolving world, and has aligned the district's LCAP with the strategic plan. Whereas Ms. Tuckloff has guided the process to get 2 parcel taxes approved by the Pacifica community and is currently working to provide housing for district employees. She has also established a partnership with the Pacifica Education Foundation to ensure students have access to instrumental music and other enrichment programs. Whereas Ms. Tuckloff's understanding of the opportunities presented through the adoption of innovative technologies has allowed her to create a school district that is well-positioned to help its students adjust to changes in their community and the world. Whereas Ms. Tuckloff recently received the Association of California School Administrators Region 5 Superintendent of the Year Award for 2018. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Pacifica School District extends its best wishes to Wendy Tuckloff upon the occasion of her retirement following 8 years of faithful and dedicated service to public education, and extends its sincere best wishes for a rewarding and fulfilling future. And you also have one's from Kevin Mullen and Jerry Brown and Jackie Spear.
Thank you. Well, yeah, I don't want to talk too much because I know I'm going to cry. So I'm just going to say it's been truly an honor to have served Pacifica School District for the last 8 years. It's gone by so fast. And, but I'm 40 years into the career, so it's time. So I thank everybody, and I think this is just a tremendous place to be, and the future superintendent is going to have a wonderful time here. So thank you.
Okay, now we need someone to approve a motion for the resolutions. 2018-05-16-A through 2018-05-16-E. We have a motion to approve?
I motion to approve the
Okay.
resolutions.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Board passes 5-0. Thank you.
Okay. We'll have a celebratory recess after the first district business item. So one more thing. Okay. Two more things. Okay. Two items.
Yeah.
District business, district goals. The district values the goals provided in our local control accountability plan and strategic plan. All of our district board agenda items are tied to these goals. One or more goals are listed in the description of each board agenda item. The details for each of those district goals can be accessed on our agenda online public page or by visiting the district website, www.pacificasd.org, under the District Information Board of Trustees. Okay, 11A, Public Employee Appointment Superintendent. Okay, it is recommended that the Pacifica School Board trustees approve the appointment of the superintendent finalist. And after extensive search, it's my honor to present Heather Olson as our finalist. And I think Heather would like to say a few words.
So, first of all, I want to thank everyone in this room for the opportunity to work in one of the very best school districts in California. One of the things about being selected is that I had to keep it under my hat for a long time. And so that was extremely hard because for years I have, when you work in San Mateo County, you get the opportunity to see the work that other school districts are doing, and super nerds like myself look at board meeting minutes, you look at other people's LCAPs, the other piece that is so respectable about Pacifica and nobody ever brags about is being able to do so much on such a thin budget and to have a reserve. And these are, what people don't realize is that these are very tough financial times, and to have a reserve and to have a positive certification, like, that's really something that should be celebrated, and I really welcome the opportunity to do that. The other thing that people talk about Pacifica is the people. And so to be here in a board meeting that is packed. Typically, board meetings that we have are packed. People aren't cheering and celebrating and crying for a good reason. So again, it's an honor to be here. Just to tell you a little bit about myself is this is my 27th year in education. I'm currently the assistant superintendent in San Mateo Foster City, which has many of the same challenges that Pacifica does. We're just bigger. And so I was the Assistant Superintendent of Education Services, focused on all of the materials adoptions, on all of the standards implementations, much of the work that's been happening here. I was the Director of Curriculum and Instruction prior to that, and then I was the principal for 12 years, which in dog years is about 100 years. But I had the opportunity to be the principal of two schools, Meadow Heights Elementary and Sunnybrae Elementary, and that work, I love doing that work with teachers and students and their families, and I'm hoping that by working in a school district with 6 schools and that I will have the opportunity to be a part of your classrooms and a part of your schools. Let's see, I've been here probably for about an hour, and I've been invited to 3 parties. So clearly, I can see how it rolls here. And then I just, the process of obtaining a new superintendent is arduous. Like, this started shortly after Dr. Tukloff announced her retirement, and so this has been going on for a long time. And I just want to thank all the people that have been involved, all the stakeholders that gave input, I want to thank the 3 committees. So the first committee was a large committee of community members, teachers, classified staff, principal, and then the next day I met with the board. And then yesterday I had the opportunity where a group of Pacifica folks came out to San Mateo Foster City. And that was really, when you think about the opportunity where the 2 parts of your life combine, you know, the people that you work with really for all intents and purposes are your friends and family. And so I was really, really fortunate to have that opportunity and to be standing in front of you today. I want to introduce my wife, Rona Jowitz. She works in so this is a little secret, is that she works in San Mateo County Office of Ed as kind of the key expert for PBIS implementation. So while I'm an ed services person, I also have some local expertise on PBIS. And so other than that, I just want to thank the board for this opportunity. As not yet been superintendent, I know that I will make a mistake, and I hope that that we can learn together, and that I am humble enough to get any feedback that that you have for me that's going to help us together grow as a team. And then I'd really like to thank Dr. Tuckloff for her support in this. And prior to interviewing, I had the opportunity to sit down with her, and she talked about there are really wonderful people in Pacifica, and she cares so deeply about this district that it is my honor to continue her work. So thank you.
So we need, it's an action item to appoint Heather Olson as superintendent. Okay, we have a second. All in favor?
Board passes 5-0. Thank you.
Okay, 11B, Pacifica School District.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Pacifica School District Superintendent Contract.
So with the appointment of our new superintendent, there comes a contract, because I didn't think she wanted to work for free. So we were able to have the signature this evening, so thank you for coming early. I have the contract in front of you. We have posted it on our website for people to see. It really talks about compensation, her evaluation process, etc. Are there any questions that you have that I might be able to answer for you regarding the contract?
Okay, approval is also an action item. Okay.
Motion to approve the contract.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Board passes 5-0. Thank you.
Okay, the Board of Trustees will take a 15-minute recess to celebrate the retirees and our incoming superintendent with cake and pictures.
Be careful.
Yes.
Yeah, so I put my phone down.
That's right. Get it out now.
welcome aboard. How are you?
D, public employee appointment, executive director, special education, human resources, and pupil services. Wendy Tekla.
Okay, it's with pleasure that I present our finalist, Maria Lang Gavidia, but she goes by Maria Gavidia. She is currently the Director of Special Programs in Belmont Redwood Shores School District. This is for the position of Executive Director, Special Education, Human Resources, and Pupil Services. I'd like to thank our panel who participated in the first level. Will Lucy, who facilitated the process, Jennifer Gray, Moy Scott, Natalie Abenante, Tom Stafford, Betsy Belkin, Jeannie Ahmed, Michelle Pym, and Nicole Sayers. She's had an extraordinary background, and she will come forward based upon the actions tonight for a presentation at our next board meeting, if you would like.
Okay. This is an action item. Do we have any discussion about Maria or? No? Okay. We're all on the panel to interview. So do we have a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve the appointment of the ED.
Executive Director.
Executive Director.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Board passes 5-0. Thank you.
11E, tentative agreement between PSD and LSEA for 2017-2018 goal operations. Josie?
Okay, tonight we have several tentative agreements that I'll report out to you for all of our bargaining units. And we just want to say we really appreciate all of the staff, both certificated and classified, during tough budget times. And as you know, our budget is tight. We've been able to work through another year of an agreement, and I know this was a hard one. We got a lot of work done, and it's all posted online. So I'll just kind of do a brief synopsis of what it contains. So it is for 2017-18, the tentative agreement, and all of the bargaining unit members that were employed as of this agreement are going to receive a 1% retroactive salary raise back to July 1st, 2017, and those are the certificated teachers bargaining unit. There is also a restructuring of the psychologist salary schedule because it has been difficult for us to hire psychologists. We've lost several psychologists over the last few years, and we've been contracting out, which actually costs us more than hiring the employees. So we were able to restructure the salary schedule, and that does not include the 1% salary increase because of the restructured schedule. We also have a $750 one-time bonus that won't be paid until December 2018. And really that's because we have a deficit spending this year of over $1 million. We were able to reach this settlement based on spending some of next year's funds. And so the 1% salary is actually coming out of next year's LCFF funding and the one-time bonus. And December 2018, because the state doesn't really pay us until that time frame. Those are the big items in the agreement. We did a lot of work on other contract issues, outdoor ed stipend, the new teacher orientation. The new teachers will be paid for coming to the new teacher orientation. We amended the additional pay section of the contract, the hourly rate in the 9.3 section, and health and welfare. This is a little complicated, but the health and welfare package for the teachers union, we've kind of worked through this over the last few years. Currently, new teachers get Family Kaiser, and teachers hired prior to July 2015 were still receiving the higher benefit package, which is Blue Shield or whatever package they chose, and the district has been contributing 50% of the difference. based on the old contract language, the employees were going to have to start picking up more of the difference between Blue Shield and family. So we were able to reach an agreement where it would remain at 50% to kind of honor those longtime employees, and then in 2 years, it'll go up to 75%. The employee will then pay 75% of the difference. And there's not a lot of employees on that plan. I think within 2 years, we'll see even less, so there'll be less of an impact on the members. Let's see what else. The health and welfare increase, we do count total compensation when we're looking at our contract. And the benefits increase from last year to this year by 0.57% when you kind of correlate that to salary. Let's see what else. We did sign off on a new employee orientation agreement, updated the child bonding language. We addressed one of the issues of combination classes, which has created a lot of issues with the new math curriculum. So we were able to come to a good, strong agreement on providing support for that. The job sharing, we were able to amend that contract. And then I think the biggest thing was the contract revisions. And we have to thank Rachel Merlot for that, for keeping us such good notes. We had a new team this year. I forgot to mention in the beginning, it was Will, Lucy, Ellie Cundiff, and myself. And then they were very patient with us because they had already been working on their contract revisions, and then we came in and kind of had to backtrack a little bit. So I think that was a real big one, was getting the whole contract done, and we'll be able to have a reprinted contract. I want to thank the LSEA bargaining team for helping us get through that. It was quite a chore, but we did it. So that's a quick summary. All of the attachments are there. If anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer any questions. Kathy?
The only question I have is the MOU for combination class support is not signed, but was that?
Yes.
That is agreed on.
It is signed and agreed on. I didn't have a signed copy when I scanned it.
Oh, okay.
It is signed.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
That's a good guess. I know it's signed.
Get them up here and make them sign. Any other questions? No? Okay, so this is also an action item. Do we have a motion to approve the tentative agreement between PSD and LSEA?
I motion to approve.
Okay, a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Board passes 5-0. Thank you.
Okay. 11F, tentative agreement between Pacifica School District and the Classified School Employee Association, CSEA, for 2017-18.
Again, we got a lot of work done this year. It's all uploaded and attached. I want to thank Ray Avila and Debbie Skiles, that's for the district's bargaining team, and then also the CSEA bargaining team. So quick synopsis of CSEA. We agreed upon a 1% salary increase retroactive to July 2017, and the $750 one-time bonus to be paid in December prorated based on FTE. A big item that we worked on this year is the satellite kitchen job description. Our district hasn't been able to update some job descriptions in many years, and with you'll hear from our presentation later, we have this federal and state standards for child nutrition have changed drastically over the last several years, and our kitchen workers have really adapted and learned the new techniques and learned how to put fresher foods out, and it's not packaged. Their jobs have become more difficult. So we worked on updating the job description and also the range for the kitchen workers. We did a 2-range increase for the salary schedule. We also worked on the vacancy clause to strengthen the hiring process. It was a little complicated in the contract. There was a promotion clause and a vacancy clause, and we worked to kind of combine those two clauses and make it easier for both, the employees and the HR department to kind of process through vacancies. The cashback was really just a small update. There's an old cashback program for classified employees that were hired years ago, and with the Obama Affordable Care Act, there were some changes in dependency. So we made that match the age, and no longer having to be in college, but being 26 years old. So that was just an update. We also signed an MOU to create a paraeducator committee so that they could look at the job description and the current duties that are being done, and kind of see if they're in line with their job description. And what I loaded, there has been a revision that was actually signed today, and it was really just changing the members of the committee. There was CSEA wanted to change one of the members, so that was revised. And I think that's it. Everything is attached, and we really just appreciate working with CSEA and working through this contract. Thank you. And if you have questions on CSEA.
Okay, this is also an action item. Do we have a motion to approve the tentative agreement between CSEA and the Pacifica
Motion to
School?
approve.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Board passes 5-0. Thank you.
11G, tentative agreement between PSD and LSMA for 2017-18.
Okay, LSMA has been doing a lot of management association. There really isn't a contract for management, but Ellie kind of is the president of the group and kind of organizes that group. So LSMA has kind of like a Me Too agreement with the other employees, and so their compensation agreement is very similar. 1% salary increase retroactive to July 2017. The $750 one-time bonus to be paid in December 2018. And then LSMA has capped health benefits. It's based on a 2014-15 Kaiser two-party health rate, and then the dental and the vision and the life. So because LSMA chose to cap their health benefits back in 2014-15, the equivalent of the health benefit increase that other employee groups get is put on the salary schedule for management groups. And so we do a calculation every year in January and compare January to January, and the increase was 0.57%. And so the LSMA would receive a 1.57% retroactive salary increase back to July 1st, 2017. And that's really, those are the only issues or salary agreements made with the management group at this time.
Any questions or comments? No? Do we have a motion to approve the tentative agreement between PSD and LSMA? Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Board passes 5-0. Thank you.
Okay, 11H, superintendent contract compensation. Josie.
Okay, the superintendent contract it has contract language where the superintendent does receive similar salary increases to other bargaining unit members. And so that would be a 1% salary increase, the $750 one-time bonus paid in December 2018, and then the equivalent of the health benefit package of the 0.57%.
Okay. Any questions or comments? Okay. All right. Do we have a motion to approve the superintendent contract compensation?
Motion to approve.
A second?
A second.
Okay, all in favor?
Board passes 5-0. Thank you.
11I, public disclosure of collective bargaining agreement. Josie. Josie should know.
This is her meeting.
This is her evening. Okay.
So Assembly Bill 1200 is a law that governs the fiscal health of school districts, and the county office does have reporting requirements for us whenever we sign off on compensation agreements. They want to make sure that the superintendent and the CBO can sign off that the district will be fiscally solvent in the current fiscal year and then 2 years looking forward. And so the second interim report that you reviewed in March did include most of this compensation because we had the foresight we knew what was going on at the time. So this is a formality for the county that we can show to them where we currently are today and where we are 2 years going out. And so it does reflect the 1% salary increase, the $750 one-time bonus, the 0.57% for management employees, the child nutrition range increase, and the psychologist increase, although we do feel that we're going to have cost savings from restructuring the psychologist salary schedule because we are spending so much money on contracting out right now. So what this reflects is the costs. It's several pages, and then there's several pages of explanations to the county. They want to know, how you're going to be able to fund these increases, and questions as far as like health and welfare caps. Kind of the same questions they ask in the interim reports as far as fiscal indicators and those types of things. So it's all listed out in the descriptions, and then there's actually the general fund budget, with these expenditures included, and then there's a page where it reflects our reserves. And the reserves are a little bit lower than what we had at second interim because of just the ongoing cost that we've been experiencing. So I know the board does like to carry a 6% reserve. We are currently under 4% when we look at the current year, the 2 years going out. So, it is going to be difficult moving forward because we're deficit spending, and we'll look at the May revise next week and where we are with that. But because of the ongoing PERS and STRS and health benefits, we're just not getting enough ongoing LCFF funds to cover those increases. So we'll look at that in more detail, but we are able to submit a positive, report for AB 1200 to show that we will be able to meet our commitments for the current year and 2 years going out.
Any questions? All right, do we have a motion to approve the collective bargaining agreement? Okay, and a second? Okay, all in favor?
Board passes 5-0.
Okay,
Can I clarify, may I clarify the second motion, please?
Oh, there were two of you.
Rochambeau?
Anybody got a comment?
Go ahead, Andrea. Okay, I'll second it.
Thank you.
Okay, 11J, resolution number 2018-05-16-F, 2017-18 budgetary increase and transfers at year end. Josie.
This is another action item, and it is a routine board item that we bring before you every year, which allows us to make budget revisions between categories so that the county can process our payments from now through June 30th. And so it really is a routine matter for us to reflect for the county so that we can process budget revisions.
Okay. Do you have any questions? No. Do we have a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve that one.
Do we have a second? All in favor?
Board passes 5-0. Thank you.
Okay, child nutrition update. Josie.
Tonight, we want to welcome Lori Miller, our new child nutrition supervisor, and Lori and I are going to do the presentation together. And so that's why I'm coming up to the podium so we can work together on this presentation. So we do have a PowerPoint. That's our kitchen at Cabrillo. Darcy.
That's Darcy.
No, that's Darcy. Darcy just left. She was here a few minutes ago. So real quick, Lori, I think I have it in here somewhere, but Lori just started on March 1st. So she's really hit the ground running, and you just said goodbye to Lisa, but Lisa's still been helping us out. She's come in a few times and kind of helping with the transition. So child nutrition update, we're going to look at our current year accomplishments. That we're going to review some of the nutrition guidelines, our meals update, and then planning for 2018-2019. So current year, we were a little bit surprised Lisa left on February 28th. Originally, we thought she was going to leave in October. But luckily, Lori was here in the district office, and she has her bachelor's degree, and she has her dietitian license, and she had everything ready to go, and she was really willing to step up and jump right in. So thank you and welcome. Sodexo Contract, so just kind of a review. We were using Sodexo, and in the earlier years it was very helpful for us because we just didn't have that expertise, and we had a Sodexo consultant for many, many years. A few years ago it just became too costly for us, being a small school district and losing some accounts that we were serving lunch to. So we switched to what you call a purchasing only contract, where we no longer have a consultant. We do all of the work in-house, but we still purchase the food through Sodexo, and we pay $4,000 a month to be able to enjoy their discounts. And so we're going to talk more about that as we plan for 18-19. But with Lisa leaving, for us it was unexpected for her to leave in March. We were not able to do our procurement for this year, so we went month to month with Sodexo, and we're still buying the food through them. And I'll explain a little bit more about how that works as we plan for 18-19. Staff development, we've done some really good staff development this year. Lisa started the year with a wellness
for the staff, and then throughout the year, we continued with safety and regular meetings and doing our safety meetings. Serve Safe, this is something that I'm really excited about. Lori just completed your, what is it called, manager's Serve Safe
Yes,
license?
so I can be a proctor and a instructor.
Yeah.
So we can do it all in-house.
So that's a requirement for our kitchens to have the Serve Safe certification. And we used to have to spend quite a bit of money and bring a trainer in or send them out for training. Now we have Lori. And so we're going to be able to do the training whenever we hire somebody and whenever their license expires. And we're going to invite the other school districts to join us if they also need training.
For a small fee.
Our wellness policy was updated. I believe the board reviewed that just recently at a prior board meeting. Some new menu items this year that I think the kids liked was the nacho bar. We went back to Domino's because they didn't like New York pizza. Surprisingly, you know, we did the New York pizza and we thought that would really be a big hit, but it wasn't. So we went back to Domino's and
They love Domino's.
They just love Domino's. We've also had some more culturally diverse items. A lot of Asian food on the menu. It's been, so those are the new items. The USDA regulations, this is pretty much the same that we presented to you last time. Our district has been pretty much ahead when it comes to compliance with the USDA. We met these requirements last year and we continue to meet these requirements. So this is something new that was enacted towards the end, or passed towards the end of 2017, but effective January 2018. And it really has to do with no shaming. And that's for both your free and reduced students and also your regular paid students. And so when it comes to the free and reduced students, no shaming is you just really can't treat them differently. We don't do that here. We have a very good policy for no shaming, but some examples they give is where people might have them eat in a different dining area or having to work for their meals, just calling people out, and we've never had an issue with that. But the law did become a little more stringent in January 2018, where they also include the paid students, where if a paid student comes through the lunch line and doesn't have money on their account, you have to make sure they're not treated any differently either, that all students are all treated the same. And so we've always handled it the same. We do have a district meal charge policy that's posted on our website, and any student who comes, if they're on the free and reduced, they always get an entree and an unlimited salad bar, and paid students always receive an unlimited salad bar. So it's really, they're all treated the same, and there is no one being called out or no shaming. I don't know if you have anything to add or.
No, and if they do owe money, we don't tell the child. We make phone calls to the parents so that you're not doing that in front of other children.
Lunch meals update. Good news is 2017-18, you can see an increase. So even though our enrollments declined, and we added the percentages on the bottom, I know that was a comment from last year, and so you can kind of see the percentages way down there at the bottom. It's kind of small, and you can see that 17-18 we're up this year, so up to 40%. So that's really good. Less kids in the district, and we're serving more students lunch. And I think the same goes for breakfast. We were able to increase our breakfast counts as well. And the kitchen ladies work really hard to try to, get the kids to eat both lunch and breakfast. And they also do market the lunch program to the adults too. I know they make these really good salads,
They do a lot of salads
at the sites for the teachers. And so they're trying really hard, even though the enrollment's declining, they're trying really hard to get their sales up. And the National School Lunch Breakfast Program. This is just so you can see the funding that we receive from both the federal and state. It's just gone up a little bit. The federal is $3.23 for free and $2.83 for reduced, and then we get 23 cents from the state. We've had a difficulty the last couple years with our free and reduced population actually declining a little bit as a district because of declining enrollment, and also, maybe people are not filling out the forms, or so we had a slight decline. But then the direct certification really helped us, where the state gives us a list of kids that are directly certified.
And that just shows you the household size and the income that you can't exceed to qualify. The difficulty is it's a federal income. So you're looking at California, people really, in California, it's hard to survive on income like that. So other states, you know, they can qualify, where in California it makes it more difficult. And here's our current meal prices. You know, Lori and I talked, it's only been a few months since she's been in the position, but we don't feel that we want to ask the board for a price increase at this time. We really just want to kind of get through this year and plan for next year. We feel like our lunch prices are comparable to neighboring school districts, and trying to increase the lunch price now when we don't have enough of a handle on the program and the budget for next year, it could actually hurt us if people don't buy as much lunch. So we feel like we're in a good place right now, and we're not looking to increase lunch prices. So planning for 2018-19, procurement, which is purchasing, is really complicated, and the state has a lot of regulations when it comes to procurement. You see that a lot when John comes to you with construction bids. Well, it's the same for food service. You're not allowed to just go out and buy your own food. There's bid thresholds, and if you are going to exceed $3,500, you have to do several bids, and then if it's up to a higher dollar threshold, you have to do formal bids. There's informal bids and formal bids. So it's a really complicated process, and that's why we took advantage of using the Sodexo purchasing contract, because it was easier for us this past year with the transition in child nutrition supervisors. The one thing that we learned from the Sodexo contract is if Lori's careful about how she purchases the food, there's more vendor discounts. And so even though she's paying $4,000 a month to Sodexo, if she maximizes the foods that have the higher discount, she gets a credit on the invoice. So you'll see $4,000 being spent to Sodexo, and then she'll see a credit on her invoices. And if she does enough of that, she could actually offset the $4,000. So we're looking at the invoices, kind of reviewing them over the past year and seeing if that's something that she can continue. And then she's also been joined the School Nutrition Association, and she's been going to the local meetings here in San Mateo County and Santa Clara County, and she's been talking to people about co-op. Co-op is another purchasing option where there's a group of school districts that join together, and one school district has to take the lead, but then they do the bid and they do the purchasing, and you pay a fee to the co-op. And I don't really know exactly what the fee is to the co-op. She's looking into that.
Yeah.
But you can only join the co-op in December. So she's networking.
It was a little late.
Yeah, so we missed it. By the time she was hired, it was too late. But she's been going to the meetings and kind of networking with all of those people to see if joining a co-op is beneficial for us. And there's different co-ops in the South Bay and different areas, and you have to kind of look at what is the most beneficial for you, because some of them are down in Santa Cruz County, those areas. So we're looking into that. Another thing we're looking into is Hayward Unified just did a big food bid, and they're going to bring it to their board in June. And so we've been in contact with Hayward Unified. As we've piggybacked on play structures and other things, you can also piggyback on food purchases. So we have a few options in place that we're trying to set up for 2018-19 school year. If worst comes to worst, we have the Sodexo purchasing, where we purchase the food under the Sodexo contract and we get their vendor discounts, but we do pay that $4,000. But it looks like either any of these options will be paying for procurement, because we're too small of a school district to write our own bids. We did write a pizza bid, and we did the newspaper advertising, and we did all that, and that was a tremendous amount of work just for pizza. So if we have to write bids for milk and all of those things, it's a lot of work for a small school district. So if we can piggyback off somebody or join a co-op, I think that will be our best bet moving forward. Digital production sheets. Lori and Brenda, our fiscal technician, are working on digitizing all of the production sheets for the kitchens. They're manually writing out their food orders and their counts, and they're putting it on a shared
and eventually put it on tablets and give all the kitchens a tablet. And we're a Domino's program that has points, and some of the points can be used to get tablets. So we might try and combine all of that and try and make that work.
Yeah, that's exciting. So all the kitchen ladies will be have their own technology and less paper and pen, and it'll be real-time information.
Serve Safe, we talked about that. Lori has some great ideas for special events. I liked the top your own hot dog bar. That sounds fun. And then like a sun butter and jelly bar.
And try to incorporate more theme days with curriculum. Like maybe do something for Earth Day, or maybe do some sort of science something, or math somehow. So we're going to try and look into that. Right now I'm just trying to get down the daily operations of the position, and in the summer when it's a little more quiet, I hope to concentrate more on those kind of things.
Yeah, a lot of good ideas. Equipment needs, you've seen John's facility master plan, and he is including the kitchens in his planning. We have had some recent repairs of freezers and other refrigerators, and so, you know, having that in his facility master plan is really crucial for food service. So that was 2018, was that it? So I don't, did we miss anything, or is there anything you want to add, or?
I'm good.
Okay, we're ready for questions.
I have a couple.
Jesse?
So I might have missed the slide on the USDA regulations. I'm not sure if you talked about it or not, maybe I just wasn't paying attention. But so they're, it seems like they're becoming more relaxed on the sodium requirement, and but are we still trying to meet it, or?
We are still trying to meet it.
Okay.
For the most part, I believe we do. I
Yeah.
believe we keep
Yeah.
it to maybe 1,200 grams, which is the, milligrams, I mean, which is the previous.
Okay,
The
great.
target one.
We do.
Yeah.
And we even still meet the whole wheat one
Yeah, great.
to about 98, 99%.
Okay, thanks.
Right. We've been exceeding their standards based on their timelines. I think the reason they're becoming more lax is the vendors have had a hard time producing the foods that meet the standards for the school districts, and so they did delay some of their guidelines, but we were ahead of the guidelines to begin with, so.
Great, thanks.
Andrea?
So, we were suffering some pretty major losses on child nutrition through the years. What's kind of the number right now? How much we're losing
So
each year on?
we currently have budgeted in our adopted budget in interims $56,000 that the board the general fund contributes to the child nutrition program. And we've had these discussions over the years, and we've kind of felt like we put a higher quality program, and that the district has been willing to spend the money to produce a better quality program for our students. So, of course, we want to limit the number as much as possible, but it's 56,000 currently in our projections.
Well, that hasn't changed too much over the years. So.
Yeah, we've kept things really tight as far as, you know, when we have expenditures, trying to limit it.
A year or so ago, we looked into the like farm to table, or you know, some of
Farm
the
to
farms in
fork.
Half Moon Bay or something like that, but it was trying to organize everybody together. Has there been any more progress? Because I know the county was looking into that too.
Yeah, I have not attended since that meeting. Have not attended. I think Lisa went to one down in the South Bay. The difficulty with that is a lot of the farmers are in Santa Cruz, Salinas, that area. We haven't invested as much time as we could in looking into that. When, you know, all the literature I get, there's a lot of farm to fork information. It's just a matter of committing the time and resources to really looking into it and seeing how can we incorporate that into our school district, because we could partner with the schools, their gardens, and try to do it on a small scale, and
Or
then
maybe start with the special event days or something.
exactly,
Have to do with
yeah,
the farms in Half Moon
yeah,
Bay or something.
Yeah, we need to invest more time into, you know, attending the meetings,
And
trying
then
to network some more.
You mentioned the Earth Day on there. I know that they're probably, if they haven't already, going to probably talk to you guys about the straws. That's probably coming.
We don't
Is
have
that-
straws.
No? Oh, okay.
Remember the little packets with the straw and the fork and the?
Yeah.
We stopped doing that.
I've not seen them since I started,
Yeah.
and I don't
Okay.
order them.
I know the
so-
Beach Coalition would be happy to
Yeah.
hear that.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's going to be a big push
Mhm.
this year, so.
Yeah, I think we've been ahead with the composting at most of the school sites. The kids, especially Sunset Ridge, was our first school to really embrace composting and eliminating the garbage. We've been trying.
So I have a question, and you might not have the details, but on the co-op, I mean, clearly you band together with other districts and try to get a volume discount. One of them takes the lead. What concerns me is how does the distribution work? Is all of the food delivered to the one lead district, and then it's up to the constituent districts to
It's not delivered until it is ordered. And from the meetings I've been to with other co-op members, there's pros and cons. And one of the cons I heard is that some districts will get all the white chicken meat first, and then poor Pacifica didn't get the order in, and we didn't. So I've heard different stories about the co-ops, but it's not all delivered at once. One person takes the lead, they do the bid, and then the food is out there, and you order it.
But is it delivered to each individual district?
It is when you order
it. Oh, it is, okay,
Yeah.
okay. I was just wondering if there were
Eventually.
extra transportation costs or something like that, and then the lead also gets it delivered to their district, and then everybody else has to kind of go there to grab it.
No, it gets delivered to all the school districts
Okay,
individually. But the difficulty is some people just kind of grab some of the
First come,
stuff
first
first.
served type of thing.
You have to really menu your items and be strategic about
You have
it.
to be really trustful of the lead, I suppose.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, and thank you, Lori, for stepping up on March 1st and just hit the ground running. Thank you.
We're very lucky.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. Both my sons go to Cabrillo, and they love Domino's. I don't get it. I don't get it.
It's been a long tradition there.
That Domino's pizza.
Oh, it's better? Better for the
They
schools?
made the Domino's special for us to meet those USD requirements.
Really?
So
Oh.
it's not the same Domino's that you get at your house.
Oh.
Anyway,
It's nice.
very interesting, because my son has kind of said that before. Because he asked for Domino's at home, so
Yeah.
I
It tastes the same.
cave in, and then he goes, this is a little different.
Oh.
Now I know.
Ours is better.
All right.
I didn't know that one was good for you. Okay. 11L, Sunset Ridge School Multipurpose Room Floor Bid Results. Josie.
I just left.
We should have mixed them up a little bit.
So I really want to thank John Hutchesini for putting this bid together. The Sunset Ridge floor, and Ellie just left, has really needed to be redone. It's over 15 years old. He was able to do Ingrid B. Lacey last year, and so he put together the bid packets and did his bid walk. He had 3 people attend the bid walk, but then he only received 1 bid. And maybe the construction market's tight, and but he felt that the bid was within what he was expecting, so it's not overbid or anything. And so we would like to move forward with BT Mancini Company Inc. There is still funding in deferred maintenance, because remember at the beginning of the year he just really limited the $240,000 that you gave to deferred maintenance. He just limited his projects this year, and so there is still $36,000 for him to be able to move forward with this project.
Are there any questions on? Okay, you're thinking of one, Josie? No? Okay. All right, this is an action item. Do we have a motion to approve the Sunset Ridge multipurpose room floor bid?
I'll motion.
A second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Board passes 5-0, thank you.
Okay, 11M, declaration of surplus equipment. Josie?
Okay, again, John has done some good work on accumulating a list of items in the district that are no longer needed, and we would like to declare them surplus. A couple items, I think we've talked about the bus before, the big yellow school bus. You've seen the expenditures ongoing for that bus. It's just really not worth us keeping now that we have those nice vans for special ed transportation. And because of Recology, we have a spare van. So we'd like to declare the big bus surplus, along with a list that, if you bring up the second page, Will, there's a list, and we have gov.deals. A lot of school districts use gov.deals, and what they do is they auction the items off to the highest bidder. They do all the paperwork, all the advertising, they did all the photographing, and so it really helps us as far as being able to surplus our items and sell them at the best price. Tonight, we're asking the board to approve declaring the attached list as surplus equipment.
Josie?
Mm-hmm.
These items that are kitchen items, have we already purchased replacements and these?
These are old items that, Lisa had been up to Fairmont and looked at before she left. And these are excess items from before the modernization and when we moved everything around.
I see.
And
Okay.
also some of them, we used to serve lunch to Brisbane and Bayshore, and we used to use some of these coolers and warming units, and we no longer serve food to other school districts. So these are all items that we no longer need.
Okay, thank you.
Is the bus going, the big bus going on gov.deal?
Yes.
Buy anything on that site.
We hope.
You can look.
You want a bus?
Maybe, I don't know.
House change.
Well, yeah, it'd be a nice little house. Put in your backyard.
Okay, do we have any other questions? All right, this is an action item. Do we have a motion to approve the declaration of surplus equipment?
I'll motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Board passes 5-0, thank you.
Okay, 12, board bylaws and board policies. Okay, 12A, BP and AR 3320, claims against the district, first reading.
Okay, this ARBP 3320, claims against the district, was brought to us by county council. There was a recent update based on a court case in Big Oak, Flat Groveland Unified School District. And so what we have here before you is the versions that county council recommended based on that recent court case. And it really just has to do with the plaintiff in a childhood sexual abuse lawsuit was required to file a government claim with the district not later than 6 months after the accrual of the action. And it specifically exempts claims made for the recovery of damages suffered as a result of childhood sexual abuse from the claims. So the policies are attached, and you can see the red line version of what county council is recommending. So we thought it, before CSB, we usually are on the CSB maintenance program, but since county council reviewed this policy, we thought it prudent to bring it to you in a timely manner so that our policy could be updated.
Okay, do we have any discussion for the first reading? Okay. 12B, E4040, employee use of technology, first reading. Will.
Josie, you want to take this one? She's done. What you have in front of you is a board policy, Exhibit 4040. The board policy, there's no changes there. The exhibit for 4040, employee use of technology, there's been language added to this existing exhibit, and the language is around the defining what cookies are and their use and the purpose as they relate to data sharing and monitoring. So this, an addition was put in there, point 17 into that exhibit.
Okay, do we have any questions or discussion for this one?
And notification has been put on the website.
Yeah, notification has been put on the website under the privacy tab at the bottom of the homepage.
All right, thank you. 12C, BP and AR 4350, compensation, first reading. Wendy.
Okay, so I bring these two board policy and administrative regulations before you. It is an old board policy and administrative reg, and so my recommendation is to delete these two. We do have employee compensation board policy 4351, 4151, and 4251. That really has taken its place. It was something that I think just we overlooked.
Any questions? Okay. 12D, BP and AR 4354, Health and Welfare. First reading, Mindy.
Okay, so I bring these two board policies, or excuse me, board policies and administrative regulations before you. They really needed some updating in relationship to my review of some of the LSNA agreements. In the board policy, I just changed the use of the term associate superintendent simply because we don't have one anymore. And in the AR, I looked at the retired management and confidential employees and updated that information to reflect what we truly are doing at this particular time. We did have a question about, on page 2, look-back method of calculation and what that meant. And so Josie is going to share a little bit about it. It really applies to a method of calculating through the Affordable Care Act. So she's much more eloquent than I.
So when Obama passed the Affordable Care Act, and some of the components were where you offer health insurance to part-time employees and substitutes, and you have to start tracking when somebody reaches 30 hours, because at that time, then you should be offering them health insurance. And if you don't, and they go to the exchange, the district will be penalized. And so the look-back period is just a calculation method, because people are working different hours every week. So what you do is you look back a period of time, whether it be 6 months or 12 months, and you look at the record for the teacher or employee or part-time person, and you look at how many hours they worked, and there's a calculation where you come up with an average, and that's how you know when to offer the health insurance. And we have a fiscal technician here in our office who covers all of the Obama Affordable Care Act requirements, and that's just one of them, is looking back and making sure that you cover people who had become eligible. Does that make sense?
It does, but I forgot which of you said that you weren't sure why it was in here or in that particular place.
Right. So, and currently what I did was I looked for this particular AR, which doesn't match with what we usually use with CSBA samples. So I have to do some more research, but in the interim, this is updated based on what our current needs are. So my recommendation would be to go ahead and move forward and then bring it back upon getting more information from Gamut CSBA, who we use to help us update our ARs and BPs.
So you're going to bring it back, it won't just be on the consent then? We'll discuss it again, or?
Well, the changes that were made to this particular AR is in alignment with what we need to make changes. Now I need to find out about which really is the AR we should be using, but this is the current PSD AR that we have on file.
Okay.
That was approved. So my recommendation would be, because this information is not correct.
Okay.
It's correct information, and we have, my recommendation is just to update it with our
CSBA.
current information, and then I will work with CSBA to find out why it doesn't match. But currently, this is our PSD administrative reg. So I would suggest to go ahead and move forward until I can bring it back, or the new administration can bring it back and explain what occurred.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, number 13, future agenda items.
Okay, so it's kind of timely with the speaker that we had this evening. I am, if possible, going to bring forward the textbook adoption for Spanish, which is Realidades, which is in alignment with Jefferson Union High School District. I had a meeting today, so we'll see if we're going to move forward, because they're going to look to see how they can help us in ensuring that that's the right textbook. So it may be on the June 13th, because I need to have one more meeting at least with the high school district. And at that time, I can, and if not during our work study next week, right? It's next week, to really discuss the fiscal impact that it would have to do it into the K-8s. We have discussed it, but it was part of a larger discussion so I could understand how it kind of gets buried in the information. But there will be an additional cost, and unfortunately, we just don't have that. So I'll explain that further in our work study. But I think everything else is pretty self-explanatory. Oh, and I think, Ray, we did get notice that one of our homeschool program received an award, honorary award, that Sunset Ridge had received a couple of years ago, I think, on just the progress that our students make that are exceptional. And so he'll be bringing that information forward to our June 13th meeting.
Okay, any other, nothing else? Okay, so, meeting is adjourned at 9:00. 25 minutes early. Even with the party? Even with the party, we finished 25 minutes early. Early, even with the party.